Okay, we're still into our second step, which is ownership and protection. I want to give you a story of somebody who approached me in Australia. This lady was very clever. She was a senior partner in a law firm, and she had a great idea. She came up with the idea. She went and talked to patent attorneys, to design engineers, to tool makers, and even marketing people. And she ended up developing the product and then coming to me and saying, I need to sell this out. And I said, why would you need to sell it now? She said, because I'm not getting enough money from it. And then the story came out. She had spent money on a patent and then converted that patent to 20 or so countries. She had spent money on tooling, on designing and then tooling and then different models of plastic and injection molding equipment. She had spent money on packaging, she had spent money on marketing, even TV advertising, but she couldn't break even. And the reason why is because she didn't do her homework before she even started. And that is a big problem for anyone who's going into starting with an IP, any intellectual property that you're going to build a product from. You need to know before you start that it's going to have the value that will recover all your costs. So what you need to look for in a case like that, she said, well, look, just find me a buyer, whatever you can get. And I said, well, you'd have to discount some of your costs as a loss. She said, how much? And when we calculated it out, it was pretty close to $2 million. So it was never going to happen for her. And I understand that. It's a very awkward thing for to discuss it with her, but at the same time, she needed help. Now, it was a great product. It was called Easy Drain. It's still available. You can go to any Reese's hardware store and buy it. Reese's plumbing store, sorry. And this is a device that fits inside the drain in the wet areas of a bathroom and other rooms where we can overflow water onto the tiles and it goes down a drain in the middle of the room. So you pull up the drain plug there and you slide this device in and it sits there and it's got a one-way flap on it. So as water comes in, it'll drop down and let everything go, but it won't allow anything to come back up, including creatures. You get a lot of insects, particularly cockroaches, coming up through there. Steam, water, suds, any flooding from outside, it won't come back up into that, through that drain and into your rooms. So it was a great little device, but of course when you see it sitting on a shelf or hanging on a rack for sale, you wouldn't know what it was. So it's next to impossible to put a value on that. So, and these were made for about $1.20 and are selling for $3 for $12, which I thought was a pretty good value. Most houses have 3 or more wet areas and they want to put those in the drains. Some people have it in the middle of a garage where they have flooding and they might have a small drain there and there it is, you just put it all in. So it was a great little idea, but because we couldn't explain it without video, it became an awkward sale. And because the money was invested long before the product was trialled through market validation, proof of concept was fine. It really was a good concept and it really did work well, but the market validation would have clobbered that because there's no way that people would see that, know what it was and want to buy it. So there was no need for it until you had to explain it. And if you spend 5 minutes explaining a need to somebody and then they find the desire to want it, that cost is well in excess of your $12 that you're going to get as a retail price. So what you need to do is to, if you want to do this right, you have to do the research. So you have to find your true value. So you have to use these other tools very early, such as your market validation, proof of concept, and then if you know that it's all going to work, then you don't pay for, you've taken out a provisional patent, you've got 12 months to play with that. At the end of that, you may then lapse the patent and move on, because if you can't convert that, why would you, or you can't afford to get a market, you can't get a market for that.